Hi, my name is Darla Olson. I'm independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for over 20 years and I blog here at Ink Kevin. And I wanted to share with you today these fun Valentines that I've been making. They're fun, they're easy, and they're really pretty. And they are the perfect size to stick a gift card inside. If you want to do something more simple, they would hold little suckers. You could probably even fit, one of those smaller, thinner chocolate candy bars inside. And what's another? You could stick like a bookmark in here. So there's all kinds of fun little things you could do. And of course, you can just use them to do, fun little love note inside or something like that too. But I've been making just a ton of these because they're quick and they're easy and they're fun. And then you can also make a little liner for the envelopes if you'd like. These are Stampin' Up's new Whisper White narrow note cards and envelopes. And so they're kind of fun. And I can see a lot of uses for these going forward, but my first attempt was with the Valentines, so I've been playing with making a lot of those. So they come in a package of 20, and there's an envelope, and the cards are open like this with the score mark, and so you'll need to take a bone folder. They're pretty stiff cards, so just your thumb and finger is going to probably not get it to lay too flat. They still, even with the bone folder, they still want to pop up because they're a nice sturdy card. So pretty heavy weight. All right, so we have that flattened. And I've been using, it's this gorgeous paper. It's called Painted with Love Specialty Designer Paper. And it's in this gorgeous color combo. There is Calypso Coral, which is one of my favorite colors, and there is Melon Mambo and Rich Razzleberry, and then there's this real pretty gold in there. But there's lots of different patterns. I'll just go ahead and take this all out here. So there's this pattern here. And the opposite side kind of has these muted colors and then just kind of a generic pattern to it. This one, just really pretty. Almost kind of like a basket weave kind of a design. Really pretty. And then kind of another generic. And I really like this one for this one, and there's another one that's similar that I like using for the envelope flaps. And then this is really pretty, and when you cut this up you get of course different looks. So this one, this card you can tell came from over here on this side of the paper. Oh, and the other color in here is powder pink, so I forgot to mention that color. And then on this side, oops, I bumped the camera, sorry about that. On this side here, we have kind of a real nice print that almost looks like a brick wall. And then we have this stripe pattern, which is, I don't know, for whatever reason, I really like this one. It's kind of one of my favorites. Let's flip that over without bumping the camera for you. And then this is a heart pattern, which is pretty, which I think also would look, nice as a flap, especially with this darker rich raspberry print. So you can kind of vary how you put your envelopes and your cards together, but you get a lot of Valentines out of a package of this paper. So I've made over 20 of them already, and this is the same package of paper. So I've got some paper that I haven't cut into yet, but I will be. I'm kind of getting to the point where I will be cutting into it here. And actually I'm going to cut into one of them right now. Oh, there was another sheet because I have used, because this is my favorite design for doing the little 1 3/4 inch circle on the front of this card. I've used up 2 sheets of that, and part of that was because I was using the back too for an envelope liner, and I think going on my next package I will use a different one so that I have more of these little hearts available. So real simple, because these little note cards, to cover the front of this little note card like this, your background paper only needs to be trimmed to 2 by 4 inches. So that's a real, with 12 by 12 paper, that's a perfect size for trimming, because you don't have any waste on that. The only time you end up with any waste is when you're working with the circles. So we'll go ahead and trim off, slice off 2 inches off of this paper here, and we'll give ourselves whoops, that's the scoring blade, 2 inches there. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut these into 4 inches since I've got this cut off, and that's enough for 3 cards right there. I'm not going to cut and do a whole bunch of these on the video. I just want to show you how simple these are to make. So we will move most of these pieces of paper here, get them put back in our package and out of the way here. And then for this one, I'm just going to use this here for my envelope flap, because I kind of like this more subdued, muted pattern with this lighter, subdued pattern paper on my card. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way as well. And what we're going to do is, for the circles, I've been using the layering circle dies, or circle framelit dies, and I keep mine on magnet sheets. And so I have this one which goes here, and this one that kind of goes here. So I'm using these 2 circle framelits, and the smallest one is about 1 3/4 as far as the size of the circle that it cuts. It's a little shade, little more larger than that. So you have the grid paper here. You can see the cut mark is going to be, so it's probably more like 1 7/8. And then the circle for the envelope flap is, let's see here, we'll give it to you here in just a second with our grid paper here. So it is just about 2 1/4. I would say it's more closer to 2 1/8. So those are the 2 framelits that you need for this card. And you'll need a big shot. And to use a big shot, it comes with these platforms, and well, this is a magnetic platform, so it doesn't come with that one, but the other platform that it comes with is very similar. I like using the magnetic platform though, because your paper and cardstock doesn't move around as much. So I already have my little background of hearts that going to go on the card front. So we'll just, but I do need a circle here for my envelope flap. And I try to arrange them so that I can get as many circles out. So I'll put this one here, because then I'll just kind of come over here and I'll just kind of do like a little zigzag pattern across here to get as many out of here as possible. So we're going to put that there, and then we'll cover it Now, if you're going to do a lot of these, this paper, you could put 2 sheets of paper together, and it will cut through 2 layers. So, and I did do that with my first batch. So, but you just put that in the Big Shot, and then you turn the crank and you run it through, and you can hear it snap a little bit. And I usually just run it through and then run it back like that. And there we have our envelope flap, just like that. Okay, so that's how you use the Big Shot if you've not been exposed to a Big Shot or a die cutting machine before. And we'll move that out of the way. So now we have all of our pieces. And I'll show you the little heart that we put on the front here. So the heart is also done with a die. And I used the Sweet and Sassy framelit dies. And this is actually the smallest heart of these more straight narrow cards or hearts rather than these more rounded hearts. So I use this one here. And then I just used the powder pink paper, and I used the Love You stamp from Party Pandas, and there's also a high which you can use, which is, you know, fine for a conversation heart. And then we have the Love You, which it turned out perfect. So, but you just stamp that in the Melon Mambo ink. And these are, I use the clear mount. So the clear mount need to be used with a clear block. And so you would just ink up the stamp with this ink. And let's see here. I don't have a powder pink here, but just for those of you that aren't real familiar with stamping, we'll kind of do this real quick. So you'll just ink this up, and you'll stamp the Love You, and then you'll position your heart framelit right over that, and you'll run it through the Big Shot and cut it out. So very simple. You can stamp several of them at once, and then just run them through the Big Shot and cut them out. So I have one ready. So we'll just take and assemble our card and our envelope right now. So we have our narrow note card. And I like to use an adhesive called Snail Adhesive. And it's a permanent adhesive. And I like to use that because it is not real messy to use. And it's real easy. So you put it down to the paper, and you pull back, and when you're done, you just lift up. And so we will, oh, and I managed to get ink on that one. Must have had some on my fingers. We will layer that right there on our card. And then we will layer that in the center. And then we have our Love You. And to just make that pop out a little bit more, instead of layering it directly to the card, we're going to take a Stampin' Dimensional, which is kind of a double-sided foam that's adhesive on each side. And we're going to give this some dimension. And these are called Stampin' Dimensionals, and they're honeycomb shaped, so you don't have any waste. And then to just peel off the backing, I usually just poke my finger in the center of that, and that will pull up a corner for me. And we'll put the love you right there. And then we have our envelope. And to attach our envelope liner, we'll just put more adhesive. On that. And I'm pretty generous with that, because you have this flap that's going to be, you know, being closed and lifted. So, and then you just kind of center that like so. And that allows the glue on the envelope flap to still show through. And then you'll have this little score line here, and I usually just start at the edges and bring that down, and then take my bone folder and give that a good crease. And there we have our envelope. So we have our envelope and our card, and we're ready to go. So thanks for stopping by today, and I hope you have a lot of fun making all of these little conversation heart valentines. I'm prepared to make a few more here. So make a stack of them, give them out, and make somebody's day. Thanks. Bye.